we add to our lives, but also what we are willing to release. And this is a part of the sacred rhythm of the soul. Inhaling, exhaling, receiving and letting go, gathering wisdom, and then laying down what we've outgrown. And today, as we prepare for the burning bowl ceremony, we explore release not as loss, but as joyful freedom. And Jesus spoke clearly about release. In the Gospel of Matthew, he offers this gentle invitation. Come to me, all who are weary and carrying heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Notice that Jesus does not ask us to carry more, to strive harder, or to prove our worthiness. He invites us to lay things down. And in unity, we understand that this is the release of false beliefs, old identities, resentments, regrets, and fear that no longer serves the Christ unfolding within us. The burning bowl ceremony is a sacred act of laying down. Fire, metaphysically, represents transformation. We do not destroy our past. We transmute it. What we place into this bowl is not rejected. It is redeemed. Returned to divine substance to be reshaped by love. Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, reminds us of the power of conscious release when he writes, "When you let go of the old, you make room for the new to appear." For Fillmore, release is not passive. It is an act of spiritual intelligence. And we cooperate with divine law by unclenching our grip on what spirit is ready to dissolve. The song Trip the Light offers us a beautiful metaphor for this spiritual practice. To trip the light is an old phrase meaning to move lightly, to dance, and to travel unencumbered. The music itself carries a sense of motion, freedom, and shared joy as people around the world, across cultures, across boundaries, unburdened and alive. Spiritually speaking, when we trip the light, we stop going through life weighted down by yesterday. We stop rehearsing the old stories. We stop dragging the heavy baggage of what should have been or what might go wrong. Instead, we move lightly, trusting that God is doing a new thing in and through us. Myrtle Fillmore, whose healing ministry was rooted in joy and faith, wrote, "We let go of fear and all sense of limitation, and we affirm life and wholeness." And for Myrtle, release was essential for healing. Fear constricts, joy restores. Letting go is not merely emotional, it is psychological, spiritual, and creative. The burning bowl then becomes a moment of holy joy as much as holy seriousness. What we release may be tender and it may be painful. It may represent grief, disappointment, or patterns that once protected us. But we approach this moment not with heaviness, but with willingness, even with a quiet smile, knowing that Spirit is gentle and trustworthy. And Jesus taught that this same likeness when he said, don't worry about tomorrow. Each day has enough of its own. Worry is simply imagination chained to fear. Worry is simply imagination chained to fear. Release frees the imagination to become vision. And as we engage in this ceremony, ask yourself, what am I ready to stop carrying? What belief has grown too small for who I am becoming? And where can I move more lightly in my life? To trip the light is to say, I trust God enough to loosen my grip. It is to dance instead of drag. It is to choose joy not because life is perfect, but because Spirit is present. Charles Fillmore reminded us that there is joyous freedom in spirit that comes when we cease trying to save ourselves and let divine law do its perfect work. So today we release, not with regret, but with gratitude. We thank what has been for its lessons, and we bless it as it returns to the flame. We step forward lighter, freer, and more open to the good that is already seeking expression through us and as us. As the fire receives our offerings, we may feel the truth of this moment. We are not losing anything real. We are remembering who we are. We are tripping the light of Spirit, joyfully, freely, and together. Please welcome now Andrea Bales with today's meditation and the burning bowl ceremony.
Thank you, Wanda. Just want to be sure everyone have an envelope. If you need one, usher could bring up. Raise your hand if you need one. Got 3 up here. One day, a meditation student went to his master, and he was clearly shaken. He said, every time I sit in meditation, I see a huge, terrifying spider. I try to ignore it, I try to brush it away, but it keeps coming back, and it gets scarier every time. The next time, I'm going to lay a knife in my lap, and when I see the spider, I'm going to kill it. The master had a different solution. He said, the next time you see the spider, take a piece of chalk and mark an X on its belly. The student returned to his meditation, and sure enough, the spider appeared bigger and more menacing than ever. With his heart pounding, he reached out and he marked the X as his teacher instructed. When the student opened his eyes, the spider was gone. The master asked him to look down at his robe, and there on his own belly was the X he had drawn. Teacher explained the spider was never outside of you. What you feared was within. So you may have heard the old phrase, often traced to Hermetic philosophy, as within, so without, right? As above, so below, as the universe, so the soul. And this reminds us of our inner state, our thoughts, our beliefs, our emotions and intentions. They shape the world that we experience outside of ourselves. And what that tells us is that what we carry inside never stays hidden. We think it does, but in reality, it shapes how we speak, how we listen, how we interpret one another, how we love each other, and how we respond when life presses in. Spiritually, this concept emphasizes, and unity teaches, that lasting change begins within, and we can cultivate that change. Healing ourselves is connected to healing others. Our security is found when we create safe space for others. Our successes are determined by how well we help others succeed. And that beautiful, indescribable feeling of being loved grows from the love that we give. I don't think there's a hard boundary between that inner and outer, the self and the world, soul and creation, because spirit moves through all of it. But when our inner space is crowded with fear and anxiety, resentment, there's very little room for peace and hope and compassion and love. And then we shouldn't be surprised when the outer world feels a little harsh or threatening. So only when we tend to what is within, when we make room for the patience and trust and love, does our outside world begin to look different. Here's what I've been thinking. Do you know that we can select our thoughts the same way we select our clothes every day? What thoughts are you wearing today? We often take something out of the closet, and it's, might be something that we wear often. We grab it without thinking. It's old. It doesn't maybe really suit us, but it's really comfortable. But if we happen to catch a glimpse of ourselves in the mirror, we go, ooh, that's not a good look for me. But what if every day we chose from the designer rack? You know who the designer is, right? It's very popular. Weaves beautiful fabric. If we put those thoughts on, we look in the mirror, and a choir of baby angels start singing, because we look really good, and we feel really good. And the more we choose those good thoughts, the more our world responds to us in a positive way. So the burning bowl ritual invites a gentle self-examination. What patterns am I carrying? What fears, habits, or beliefs are shaping my responses or reactions? What outfit am I putting on most days? What spirit am I feeding today? Which wolf wins? The longer we stay on the wrong train, the more expensive it's going to be to get home. This morning, we will name the thoughts, beliefs, habits, or patterns, those old clothes that we are ready to release. We are not pretending they never existed. We are simply saying these no longer get to take up all the space inside of me. There is no room in my closet for these anymore. As within, so without. Burning bowl rituals can be so transformative, not because the paper has power, but because naming has power. And the release makes the room. It's not about becoming perfect, it's about becoming available. Available to grace, to peace, to one another. Available to the quiet work that we know God is already doing with us and within us. Wanda talked about our co-founder, Charles Fillmore's wisdom. he said, we must learn to let go, to give up, to make room for things we have prayed for and desired. It's just like the monkey bars. You gotta let go to move forward. We simply cannot reach for anything new if our hands are full of yesterday's stuff. And we have to identify the stuff because we can't move forward from a place we do not occupy. So we're going to meditate together. And we are asking for a download from Spirit. The meditation will end with a few minutes in the silence. And during that silence, you will be inspired to write a word or a short phrase that describes or symbolizes whatever you wish to release. If you don't think you have enough room on this paper, you're just going to hold the paper in your hand and you can press those thoughts into the paper. And when you have written or infused your flesh paper with your denials, you'll come forward and drop them in the bowl. And when everyone is done, we will extinguish them together. Right? Remember, this is not a call of condemnation or criticism. I sometimes have a tendency, and it's usually at about 3 o'clock in the morning, to relive all the times that my tries have fallen outside the lines. Sometimes when I do wrong things, it's the wrongiest wrong of all the wrongs that ever wronged. But we're not here to condemn or judge ourselves. We are simply choosing to refocus our thoughts on love, harmony, compassion, peace. And remember, we'll be burning thoughts, habits, beliefs. We will not be burning people. Don't burn the people. Okay? Got your paper? All right. The only thing we are writing on now, and the only thing that goes in the bowl, is this flash paper. So in your envelope, you will find this flash paper. Everybody have a flash paper? Piece of flash paper. Okay. So why don't let's remove, I know you got a lot of stuff, but it's a good idea if we remove everything from your lap except for your flash paper and your pencil. Placing feet flat on the floor. We aren't creating sacred space. We're joining the one that is already here. Feet flat on the floor, letting yourself feel supported and held. One breath together. Closing eyes if that's comfortable. Simply lowering the gaze. We can barely feel the weight of the flash paper. It is so light. The burdens and challenges we carry may be heavy. I assure you the paper can hold the weight. We open our hearts to what needs to be revealed and what needs to be healed. Taking another deep breath, letting our shoulders fall away from our ears. Slowing our breathing. Letting go more completely and more fully with each breath. No hurrying, no worrying, no resisting, no insisting. Releasing any and all attachment to what no longer serves. Continuing our slow, deep breaths. I invite you to gently ask yourself, what has been taking up too much room inside of me? What am I ready to release? Even if it's just a little bit. What may I loosen within myself this morning that would become visible to others in the way I walk and speak and love in the year ahead? Letting go of what you cannot control. Letting go of what has already gone. Letting go of the stories you are telling yourself. Maybe there's more to release: family feuds, professional grudges, disappointing relationships. Exhale and let them go. As you hold the paper, these conditions transmit from conscious mind into the paper. Breathing, releasing, trusting the process. While in the silence, you may whisper into the paper, or you may write a word, a phrase, an idea, or draw a picture that symbolizes the burden or burdens you are willing to let go of. You are safe and supported here in the silence. As you are ready, come forward and release your burdens into the bowl. Let that go, Tom. Anyone else still need a minute? No? All right. We're going to release our collective denials, and whatever we wrote or infused on our paper will be extinguished instantly. Sorry, just checking. This can't go in here. Oh, that can't go in there. Okay, if you put an index card in here and you want to come and retrieve that, and it's probably a teacher. Okay, all right. So that moment of release was quickened by the power of the divine presence here. So I'm affirming that we all have a sense of openness, expansion, of joy. But we still have work to do. Because we have created a void, and we must fill it intentionally. So now here's where you get your card. In another moment, we'll have a very brief time of silence, and you're going to use your index card to list an affirmation or an intention or vision of the good that you want for yourself in 2026. So if you haven't done so, before you leave today, you can self-address this envelope. You're going to put your index card inside there and seal it, and then leave it in the basket as you leave the sanctuary. No one will see this card but you. We will keep them safe and mail them to you later in 2026 so you can see what a great manifester you are. When considering what to bring to your life this coming year, don't limit your thinking. If you're going to be thinking anyway, you might as well think big. If 2 points are destined to touch, the universe will figure out a way to make the connection, right? So in a moment, just another few minutes of silence. Relax, closing eyes, let's breathe. In the quiet, just let those desires of your heart, the ones that are burning passionately in your soul, the courage that says yes to your greatest and grandest good, a new way of being, thinking, speaking, moving through the world. Let that come to your mind now. When you're ready, you can commit those desires, dreams, goals, mission to your card. Know that it's being captured. And what I like to do at the bottom of my card is write, and everything else. So even if it's something that comes to mind later, you know it's been captured from divine mind to your heart to the card. Let's affirm together as we hold our letters of intention. Infuse our letters now. We bless our lives. We bless the good that is coming to us, and we bless all the channels through which that goodness will come. We dedicate our energy and enthusiasm to renewed life, calling forth our highest nature. Charles Fillmore's son, Lowell, had a sign above his doorway that reminded him every day to say as he left home, "I go forth to meet, accept, and express my highest good." And as Andrea Bales says, we go forth like a 4-year-old wearing a Batman t-shirt. Wanda?
Thank you, Andrea. Let's pause for a moment of prayer. We give thanks for this holy moment of a release and renewal. What has been offered in love is now transformed by divine light. As we step into this new year, we do so unburdened and open, guided by wisdom, strengthened by faith, and uplifted by joy. May our thoughts be clear, our hearts courageous, and our lives a living expression of peace, love, and purpose. We walk forward lightly, trusting the good that unfolds before us. And so it is, amen. I leave you with this blessing. May this new year meet you with grace, inspiration, and deep spiritual joy. Thank you to all those who helped make this service possible. We appreciate you. Next week, we continue affirming our Christ nature with a white stone ceremony. In the spirit of Charles Fillmore, the white stone ceremony invites us to enter the silence and receive from God a living word of truth impressed upon the pure substance of our consciousness, revealing the next unfoldment of our Christ nature. As the burning bowl is the practice of denial and release, the white stone completes the cycle by affirming the freedom found in truth. Let us stand for the prayer.